His Broadway beginning is what the Korean press loves to talk about. However, I think it's his love of musical in general that makes him synonymous with the industry here in Korea. I'm joined by actor Ma이클리 today. Hi.
Hi. Nice to meet you. Thanks for having me. What an honor to be here.
Finally, I've heard so many great things about you. We wanted you on the show for a number of months and you're finally here.
Yeah, it's been busy. It's been a busy couple of months, but I I enjoy the Arirang channel so much. I really wanted to have an opportunity to be here. So thank you for inviting me.
All right, so now that you're here, can you first say hello to our Showbiz Korea
Sure.
viewers?
Hello, everybody. My name is Ma이클리. I'm a musical actor from the United States and excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
Let's talk about how busy you've been, because not only are you a lead in one musical, but in fact you're a lead in 2 different musicals.
Yes.
I don't even understand how that's possible.
Yes, well, right now I'm playing the title role in the musical Napoleon, which is a musical written by 2 Canadians that they just licensed here in Korea. And then I'm also doing Hedwig and the Angry Inch, which for the first time is being done in English in its 12-year history here in Korea.
To ask you maybe an amateur question, I'm not quite sure. As a musical lover, I would imagine it to be just tricky for you to play 2 different roles at the same time. Like for instance, what if you forget the lines and you channel your other character, and there are like close to no similarities between these 2 different characters.
That's right. They are 2 entirely different characters, but you know, as an actor, it's not as difficult as you would think, only because if you think about how we live our lives, we all play lots of different roles, you know. Lena, for example, you're a daughter, you're a journalist, you're a friend, and you don't have to think about sort of dividing what you're going to be at what time. You know what I mean? It's like the situation calls for it, and suddenly you sort of switch into that mode without thinking about it. As an actor, if I were just doing one part at a time, which is normally the case, a lot of people have asked me before, well, how do you get into character? How do you get out of character? And it's just something that happens for you as an artist. You sort of, when you get to the theater and you turn it on, sort of you're that character for that time. And then once that curtain goes down, it's back to real life.
Being just Michael.
Yeah. And so when I'm doing 2 musicals, Napoleon and Hedwig, one's a transgender rock and roller, and one's, the
charismatic
emperor,
leader.
Yeah, charismatic emperor of France. And so it's, when I step into that theater and I'm doing that part, it's just sort of my brain switches into that mode, and it's actually not confusing. It's actually very comforting. It's
really?
It is. It's to know that, when you have sort of, it's kind of like a costume or your favorite piece of clothing. It's like your favorite piece of clothing. It's there, you know what you're going to wear that day, and you just sort of jump into it.
For someone who doesn't know Hedwig and the Angry Inch and its story and all that it has to offer, the costuming and the elaborate makeup and all of it could be shocking, if that's even the right word for it. Do you think the Korean audience is more accepting and understanding of this, what could be a potentially foreign topic?
I don't know if this is necessarily, I don't have my finger on the pulse of Korean culture, but it seems that the Korean audiences really like pretty men.
Look at all the boy bands.
This is what I'm talking about.
Look at all the boy bands.
I'm trying to be as tactful as I can, but they do like feminine looking men. And so this particular production, Hedwig and the Angry Inch, he's a transgendered woman. So it's sort of that look taken to an extreme.
Oh, absolutely.
And so I think the audiences know what to expect, and they have incredibly high standards. So if I dare say that, some of these men I'm performing with are some of the most beautiful women I've ever seen. I mean, the makeup team, the costume team, the entire creative staff is incredible. They do an amazing job. In the United States, I played Angel in Rent, and when they did my makeup and put me in the costume there, I thought I was the most hideous woman ever. It was just
you really?
so unattractive, and I'm like, oh, I cannot ever play a drag queen. But I came here, and I look at myself in the mirror, and I just say, my God, you guys are magicians. How do you do this? This is, I even think, like, I don't like looking at, my dailies when I do shoots, or, when we're doing sort of profile pictures, or, publicity photos for shows. I never monitor my own pictures. I have my management sort of look at the pictures
Really?
and decide what's best, because it's very difficult for me to do that. For Hedwig, the team was so amazing that I just said, this is great, You
That's
guys
so
did
interesting.
a great job, yeah.
Never one to shy away from a challenge, musical actor Michael K. Lee faced triumphs and defeats. We get a little more intimate with his life graph.
Graph out your life.
Will you help me? I don't know exactly how to do this. So we're going to tell everybody how old I am right now.
Surprise!
So,
All right, I can hold it for you.
yeah. I got to school and things started picking up. Then school.
Is that
was
Stanford? Are we at
difficult.
Stanford?
At Stanford, yeah. But
All
Stanford
right.
was a time when I was trying to find myself. So,
Oh, yeah.
And then as I got out of Stanford, when I was around 21 or 22, that's when I got into Saigon, and things started getting exciting. And then things started sort of being around mid-tier and plateauing, but not necessarily going up or down, but sort of going sideways, discovering more about myself. I had a tough couple years, not necessarily professionally, but emotionally, and sort of discovering myself around mid to early 30s.
In your early 30s?
Yeah, well, right when I got to be about 30, so
Okay.
maybe a little bit sooner than that, because it looks like I'm in my mid. And then we're in Korea, and so I feel like that didn't go up very much from where I started, did I?
Maybe that's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
And then, sure.
Oh, yes. I hope so.
How do you land on musical theater? How do you land on Broadway? How do you defy the odds of, what was it?
Yeah.
500 to 1 to make it
Yeah.
onto Miss Saigon.
How that happened was just through, a series of coincidences of meeting the right people at the right time. During one of my sort of difficult summers after school, I met somebody who encouraged me to take this step and audition for a show. I'd never even thought for a moment that was a viable path. I was actually, following my friends into the film industry, into applying for film school and that sort of thing, which is like, why don't you audition for Miss Saigon? You seem like you have the right voice and the right look. And I said, and I didn't understand the industry at all at that time, and I'm like, you can actually audition for these Broadway shows? Really?
Technically, anyone can walk in.
Anyone can, yeah. And at
Yeah.
that time, there wasn't a huge community of Asian American musical actors.
Actors in general.
There were, in our circle of actors, it seems like there's a lot, but when you think about it, it's sort of a limited group of people. And so they did, when they needed to cast Miss Saigon, they sort of threw out a huge net and went to every major city in the United States that had a large Asian American population, and it was through that I was able to sort of take the first step into performing.
Do you remember that audition? Like, how do you even prepare for a Broadway audition? You pick a song?
Yeah, you pick a song, you try to showcase yourself as best as possible.
Sure.
It was, I can't even imagine how ridiculous I looked during my first audition. I went to a local photo mat, or I went to a photo shop that took passport pictures because I didn't have a headshot, and so
Oh,
I went and
I would like to see documents. This is the,
I
oh,
wish I had
goodness.
that first
I wish you
headshot.
kept on to it.
Oh, but it was this hideous sort of passport photo, and I had this flat top that, my friends at college cut my hair for me, and they told me, I talked to some fellow actors, and they said, you want to be as non-specific as possible. You don't want to show the casting directors and the directors and the producers that you're only viable for one part. So go looking generic, just wear, a basic outfit. So I decided to go in a blue t-shirt and blue sweatpants with black boots. So I had this flat top. So I looked like a walking blue crayon during my
Oh
first
dear!
audition.
Did they match? Was it like, did they
totally
camouflage
matched.
into each other? I mean, it's
can't
creative. I've
even-
got to hand it to you.
No, I wasn't trying to be creative. I was trying to fit in. And maybe that made an impression, you know, they're like, the blue crayon actually sounded pretty good. Let's see if he comes back and decides to be a
Make an
red
impression.
crayon.
Oh goodness.
What a ride! I hope you enjoy the interview as much as I did. If you're in town, be sure to catch Michael K. Lee in Napoleon and Hedwig and the Angry Inch.
Thank you so much to Lena and to Arirang for having me. It's so exciting. I can talk forever, as you can see, but it's been such an honor to have this time with you and to share some of my life with you. And I hope we can do it again. I really do. Thank you.
특별한 스타와 함께하는 특별한 데이트는 앞으로도 계속됩니다.
쭉쭉쭉.
Bye everyone.